Over the last few years, a group of volunteers has restored Chambridge Forge to a working museum. Here's how it happened.
There was never a point when I actually stopped work. The workshop was getting into a poor state of repair. We had been told unofficially that the council intended to demolish it to straighten out that bit of a bend in the road. So we'd not done any maintenance work on it, and it had got progressively worse.
The forge itself is held in high esteem by the community because it was a focal point of that part of town. People used to go in there on their way into school, used to pump the bellows. They used to travel across Albert Bridge, or Chambridge as most local people called it. So preserving it means that we preserve those memories.
And I received a letter from the council, a rather formal document, asking me what I intended to do with it.
Following the letter, Jeff invited some members of South Holland District Council to visit the forge.
I recall distinctly somebody saying, looking at it and saying, "Oh, we can't let this go." So they wanted to do some restoration work on it, but of course couldn't unless they owned it. So I after some negotiation, I sold the property to the council for £1, which I never saw.
They did some remedial work to the building, which actually means that we still have it today.
No, I really had no hope that the workshop would survive, because the council, while they'd restored it, basically, they had no money to do anything with it. By that time, I was looking on myself rather as a caretaker rather than a working tenant. It would have been drilled.
Help, however, was at hand in the form of Jeff Taylor.
He's there to push me and sort of gather up a group of friends, we're calling them, who can take on various parts of the job, which would have certainly been, most of it, beyond me completely.
The Friends of the Forge started as part of the proposal to develop the forge, and so when we put our bid into the council to take over the lease, we created the Friends of the Forge as the vehicle for doing all of the work and bringing in the volunteers, so that it meant we could have a reservoir of people that were actually going to deliver the project itself.
Jeff's been the driving force. In fact, he's absolutely, could say that he's dedicated his life to it. It really has, and generated enthusiasm among the people who are helping. For physical reasons, there's a limitation to what I can do, but at least I'm there to help. I mean, the workshop is full of bits and pieces which we're cataloguing, and had I not been there, they would not have known what, or a large proportion of it was ever used for. I mean, there are still bits and pieces that I'm afraid I can't explain.
We had to take the roof off and replace it. We had to do repointing the walls. There was quite considerable remedial work, far more than we had originally planned for in our project. We've had Craig Thomas, who was our builder, who we need specialised help from, but apart from that, largely we have actually ourselves done most of the work. So none of us are specialists in any form at all, but all have put out a time together to actually understand the forge, how to do the work, and then to get on and do it. So our Wednesday afternoons and Fridays since the project started has been largely dedicated to the forge.
The volunteers' hard work was rewarded in September 2012, when Chambridge Forge was officially opened. Public and press arrived to see Councillor Lawton cut the ribbon and declare the building open.
I declare this museum well and truly open. Godspeed to all of us. Well done. Well done.
Well done. Hey, well done.
Well done, everybody.
Now it's in a far better position to maintain itself and to keep for the next generation, and still to be there in Spalding for hopefully the next 50 years or even longer.